What's the biggest thing for you that tells you just how f***ed up society is? My ex and I witnessed a bad accident in front of us at an intersection. Truck ran a light and T-boned a car. Without thinking, I jumped from the car and ran over to help free the older couple in the car. I was struggling to get the door open as I tried to reassure them that everything was going to be fine. I looked up and saw people standing on the sidewalk, filming us. Nobody bothered to come help me until I pointed at a man and told him to go to get those likes, I guess. Good on you, Mr. Dick Chode Balls. CPS failing so many kids here where I live. One lived in a M lab that blew up and CPS was called many times before. Edit, won't forget the day they took their scorched bodies out of the lab. Horrible sight burnt into my mind. It's awful of how children must be extremely abused, neglected before they do something in my country. I think children aren't protected enough worldwide. Consumer culture and countless ads everywhere. When you see those people fighting over a TV on Black Friday, you realize how fricked up we are. Fighting for the privilege to hand your money over to a huge corporation. It's insane. The amount of posts I see all over the place with how little jobs care for their employees, whether it them being underpaid, overworked, understaffed, or mistreated by their bosses, or any combination of this. Unless it's the law, companies won't take care of you. How easily the media can distract everyone from real and disturbing news that's happening, and nobody cares or can see what's happening. The media being owned by billionaires who want everyone distracted from the real issues. Manufacturing Consent by Herman and Chomsky does an excellent job of describing this process. We legalized weed, made a bunch of tax revenue, made a bunch of people a lot of money, but didn't commute sentences for cannabis related crimes. People rotting in prison for a crime that's no longer a crime. Last Prisoner Project is working on that. Call your representatives. Pop culture and how it negatively affects how people act and treat each other. A lot of serious issues have been brought up that I think are more serious. Just adding something new to the feed I feel is a major problem in society. People have become pukes because a lot of trends and celebrities promote crappy behavior. Years ago, I was a police officer in a small Texas town. One day, I got a call about a little kid who was running down the middle of the highway. When I found him, I had to chase him on foot and grab him to get him out of the roadway. After speaking with him, he told me which foster home he was leaving, but he would not tell me exactly why. Now, this kid was about 8 years old. I contacted the on-duty CPS worker and told him about the issues at the house the child was willing to tell me of. I also informed him that I was made aware of an older juvenile who was staying there and had been handled for several sexual assaults of a child. Of an 8-year-old child. Of an 8-year-old boy, just like this one. Apparently, little boys were his targets. WTF was he doing there in the first place, I asked. CPS replied, well, we consider him a low risk for repeat offenses, but we've got him in therapy. I replied, well, that's a relief. I bet whoever is doing a therapy is also the genius that thought it would be a great idea to put him in the same house with another 8-year-old boy. I asked the CPS worker what they were going to do with the runaway I had recovered, and he said, I guess we're just going to put him back in the same house. I said, are you kidding me? I don't think so. It took hours and hours of tracking down that guy's supervisor to tell them that that was pure B. The kid was placed with another home. Probably a group of convicted cannibals for all I know. The system is so far gone. As a foster kid, at 9 years old, that story hit me hard in the chest. Same type of situation, except I didn't run away. They always threatened me saying I'll be in trouble, get hurt by the police, etc. etc. In Canada. Thankfully, as a 25-year-old now, I'm not scared of the police as I was as a kid. How the I got mine, so screw everyone else and I don't give a crap if people die or are hurt if I benefit or can comfortably ignore it mentality is present in literally everything. This pandemic, US imperialism, US social domestic policy, most of evangelical Christianity practiced in the US. It is genuinely horrific. That I can talk about DiGiorno's pizza without ever typing it or purchasing one, and magically a DiGiorno ad will end up in my feed. Talk about double-ended marital aids and see how far this magic goes. People are more interested in filming bad or serious stuff happening, rather than actually helping, usually yelling someone help but not helping themselves. Raising awareness is the literal least you can do and still pretend for social media like you're doing something. We're living through an empathy crisis. People are so disconnected from others that they're incapable of compassion. Kind people are seen as fools. People trying to make the world better are treated as pie-in-the-sky dreamers, or simply dangerous, and those who call out injustice and cruelty are snowflakes. Even wokeness can be performative, with people just throwing words they saw online around to one-up someone else. ETA. Wow. Thank you for the awards and the insightful responses to this comment. Clearly there are more thoughtful people out there than one might believe. The justice system as a whole. Once you make one mistake, you are set up to fail again rather than actually receive help to change. You get arrested one time, get put on probation, probably frick up probation somehow because the guidelines are literally ridiculous, back in jail, and the loop continues. People on probation pay so much time and money to pay for their one mistake, and probably end up in prison again anyways. And those who get out of the loop and get a second chance at life, continue to pay for that one mistake by constantly being denied for jobs and places to live. So how are they supposed to get better? And don't even get me started on jail prison. The idea was it's supposed to be a rehab, to teach people who don't know any better and to help better people. But it's nothing but violence and traumatic experiences. We literally have human beings being kept in boxes for months, years, lifetimes, because of one choice that was made in their life. Solitary confinement is literally torture and has been proven to cause short and long-term mental damage. So how do you expect to put someone through that kind of trauma, then throw them back into the world with nothing and no resources or places to stay or jobs to help them get started? The whole thing really hurts my heart. Everyone makes mistakes in life, and I think humans will always do bad things and hurt each other. That's part of life. But humanity trying to control the good and bad that happens in the world, I think just adds more steps in the middle and causes more harm than good. That's just my opinion based on my experiences and observations in my 23 years of life. Sex trafficking of children, and for different reasons. A close second are those images of Trash Island and that giant desert heap of discount clothing. I'd say that's more of a small percentage of people who are fricked up than society as a whole. Maybe society is fricked up for not being more outraged. Most of society is pretty outraged by it though. China hosting the Olympics while running concentration camps and harvesting organs and mass slave labor. Countries like Iran and Saudi heading committees on UN human rights and women's rights. Or Qatar hosting the World Cup while enslaving thousands to build the stadiums because they don't already have the infrastructure. Many times those workers are being killed because of unsafe work conditions. For me, as an American, it's the way Americans are allowing themselves to be brainwashed to believe anything these days. Absolutely anything. And not just believe it, live it, defend it, fight for it. When 3/4 of the people you know have lost their capacity for critical thinking, the future feels pretty dang scary. Reality TV stars who continue to be relevant years after their show ended and they've done nothing else of value. In other words, shows like TMZ are to blame. The whole entertainment industry in general is freaking stupid. 90% of the famous people you see being talked about either barely created the content they are known for, most music artists, or are only famous because of their physical appearance and have literally no other redeeming qualities or skills that would make them useful to society otherwise. The fact that people don't care how their actions affect others. Second comment caused I change my mind. This is the root of pretty much all the others. And if they are confronted with how it affects others, they simply chalk it up to I'm just living my truth. God dang, I hate that freaking phrase. I'm American and I know for people outside the US this is going to sound insane, but hearing about people calling an Uber instead of an ambulance because the ambulance is too expensive. That rapists only go to jail for a few months and drug possession can get you 10 years. That honor killings are a thing. And that's on the rare occasion a rapist gets any sentence at all. Visited Washington DC before the pandemic with my fiance. We were walking to the Capitol building for a tour, and while waiting to cross the street, I see a man who clearly fell and could not get up across and down the street. I saw multiple people simply step over the man as he was gesturing for help. I went to help him up, found out he couldn't speak English well, but was able to find out he lived only a couple blocks away. I convinced him to let me help him to his apartment where his wife was waiting for him. It was heartbreaking to see so many people simply step over someone that fell down and needed a simple hand up. No one listens to learn anymore. They listen for an opportunity to correct the speaker, or for an opportunity to feel attacked. So yeah, this reminds me of a time. It'll cost me almost as much to have surgery to remove my miscarried child as it would to give birth. And I don't get to go home with a baby. Frick American healthcare. Trauma is so common that people cannot comprehend that someone can be nice, kind to them without either wanting something in return or being attracted to them. People thinking of homeless people as less than human because they're down on their luck or cannot afford a big insulated box. On the flip side, it's amazing how you're not allowed to be homeless. Like, you can just choose not to buy or rent and then sleep somewhere like on the corner of a street or on a bench. Public property. They wouldn't let you do that. I guess you could probably always camp out in the woods by the highways. All of the videos I've seen where someone is dying, like after an accident, and everyone's pulling out their phone or flat ignoring the person as they die. It's like that video where some girls try to rob a driver ends up getting killed and the girl's just like, where's my phone or some crap, as the guy's alone dying. As tech has increasingly become a part of our lives, we have this generation iPad growing up, raised by an electronic device and free reign to the internet. We are more detached and our attitudes more divisive. God help us all. That we are at a time in history where, to be blunt, poor people are fat. The cheapest foods available today are pasta, processed meats, and fast food. Even the groceries of middle-class people are factory farmed and are full of contaminants while containing little nutritional value. It shows the greed of the food industry and health issues that are ignored in our society. And when these issues are brought into conversation, people are judged for eating what they can afford. I will admit we also are facing a huge lack of discipline. This could also stem from a crappy situation or various mental health issues. This health crisis goes untalked about and is shut down every time it gains a platform. All in all, this is just an odd and sort of outrageous time in human history when it comes to our health. Eating a variety of healthy foods costs money and takes effort. Way too easy to fold and order a pizza. The oil, gas and coal industries get tax subsidies, but when actual taxpayers got the stimulus checks, tax subsidy, people screamed socialism. People listening to celebrities give out healthcare advice instead of people who are trained and hold degrees in those areas. Social media, praising people with the help of fake internet points, showing fake support by clicking a button, condemning and destroying people's careers over fake rumors and witch hunts online. Take my fake internet point. Absolutely everything surrounding Jeffrey Epps, and us not making it a bigger issue than we should. I don't wanna say his full name because it's a possibility it might be removed. How Western society is obsessed with sex and claim it's a good thing. Healthy sex is good, sure, but there's emotional aspects to sex that cause damage when you treat sex as sort of a business transaction. That people feel the need to whip out a camera while offering help to someone in need. If I was homeless and someone offered me food while shoving a camera in my face, I'd tell them where to ram their charity. The degree to which we brazenly destroy the environments of other living creatures for profit and comfort, even when we know it endangers our own future. That poor people getting help paying for food is seen as a handout, and that the real way to motivate them out of poverty is to take away all the resources that help them, you know. Cause buying a pair of pants 2 sizes too small always motivates people to lose weight. Yes. Right. I think this is ridiculous. Everyone is struggling in this life and some people just need more help than others. People don't seem to understand this concept and would spread unnecessary hate. That I'll live in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest state in the wealthiest country at a time in history that will go known for its opulence, and I'm surrounded by homelessness and extreme income inequality. The political class in CA promised that if we eliminated their competition, they'd solve our problems. We gave them 100% of the power, and they're just using it to enrich themselves, their allies. It's shocking. Astronaut on the moon with a gun meme. How willingly we ignore history repeating itself in exchange for being right by being on the side we think is right. For me, it was when I was a kid. It wasn't all the bad crap happening but the response when I asked why crap kept happening. Just the way world is. It isn't fair. Suck it up. That's when I learned most people aren't inherently kind or intelligent. They are apathetic and dumb. The world could easily be better. People have decided it isn't worth it. Here in the Netherlands, people who receive welfare checks can't even get a few groceries from friends or family, because that's considered fraud and can get you in serious trouble. Honestly, we work 40-hour week to get a crappy minimum wage while billionaires just get richer and richer. People die every day from hunger, lack of vaccination in the middle of a freaking pandemic. Human beings are literally living in the streets, and if we complain about it, some will say we are communists or whatever. People fear some imaginary monster while the true ones are out there destroying the world. People have no empathy. Some crap like this. That our lives are run by soulless capitalist interests with no regard to humanity or morals. War and disasters make money by privatizing every service and funneling the funds right into the pockets of investors. Climate change is a money machine. Arctic ice retreat opens up the Northern Passage and access to land exploitation and oil in the north. Frick the people, culture, wildlife, nature. Everything is worthless unless it's turning a profit. Ban abortions and drive up overpopulation so we can work people to death, or to burn out and illness, and then toss them out. Maximize profits at any cost. Getting by is never enough. Being a billionaire is never enough. Lack of growth is failure. Keep people divided, angry and scared. They won't fight back. Dismantle social security, unions, integrity of the press, education, everything that could give an ounce of power or security to the manipulated. Since other big ones have been covered already, that a shredded Banksy painting sold for $40 million and most Americans can't afford a doctor visit. Trisha Paytas and other influencers who legit contribute zero to society yet make tons of money with their lavish lifestyles. Half of her vlogs are her pretending to be something she's not, other half is spending thousands of dollars and doing hauls and eating or talking crap about other people online. Yet she makes millions. WTF. When a store lost power so it got rid of all the meat, threw it in a dumpster. But it was so cold out it kept the meat preserved and folks started grabbing the free, good, food. Subsequently, police were called to sit at the dumpster and not allow anyone to take the food, which was very much edible. Border security ripping children from their mothers' arms and disappearing them into the foster care system. That, and cash bail and the private prison system. There are these new Phyllis called zoophiles where people are not attracted to humans, only dogs or other animals. Bro, WTF happened to this world? If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.